Welcome, everyone, to Artivism, the Power of Art for Social Transformation. Today is the last presentation for Season 8 of Artivism. It is I guess, a special event. We will have with us, if not in person, then recorded. They did send us something recorded and something written because of the time differences. The past presenters that have received the Sing for Hope sponsored Artivist Award. But first, we want to begin with the recipient or recipients of the Spring 2024 Season 8 Artivist Award. So, Christina, would you like to present?
Yes. So, sorry if I don't pronounce perfectly, but especially names. I will read this statement. The selection committee, Sarah Avery, Anna Lazo, and Christina Sademi, for the Spring 2024 Sing for Hope Sponsor Artivist Award, has read and considered both applicants attentively. Here are the project's description. Candidate 1, Juana Maruja, hope I pronounced that well, led by Susan Sabaja Alvarez, is a musical project celebrating Afro-Latino heritage through Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Brazilian, and Afro-Peruvian rhythms. It promotes cultural pride, spiritual wisdom, and environmental respect. While the project seeks resources to develop its initiatives, its mission is not profit-driven, but focused on education and community empowerment. Well, I think the strong. As the project's bass player, I'm proud to support Juana Maruja. My involvement is entirely voluntary and unpaid, motivated by the project's beauty and cultural value. Now, candidate 2, Theater Community Outreach Video Project, Olivia O, the musical, is being developed and launched at the same time as anti-immigration sentiments is rising and more people are being displaced due to war, poverty, and climate change. Olivia O is seeking funding support to create a theater community-focused outreach video, both promoting the musical and positioning it as a powerful tool for community change and engagement around these issues. The funding would be used to engage a videographer, video editor to take video audio footage from our showcase festival shows and relevant stock footage to create a promotional video using a script we would write that tells the story of how Olivia or the musical can be a tool to address the moral crisis that confronts us around the treatment of immigrants. We believe this video project will help in our long-term goal of becoming an artivism-focused theater creation team. So we are pleased with the unanimous decision. Both proposals value equally. We believe that both projects can have a significant social impact and influence on the communities in which they operate. The amount of $1,000 should be split between the two applicants to help in the implementation of their project. So each applicant will receive $500. Congratulations. Sorry for this. I couldn't see what it was written before the word. But
Thank you, Christina.
I
Thank
hope
you
you
to you.
understood me.
And Anna Lazu is in, Felipe is coming on as well. Anna Lazu is in Greece, and it's like 12:30 in the evening there. That's why she couldn't be on. And Sarah Avery, the three were on the committee that, came to this conclusion. Diane, congratulations. Felipe is coming on in just a minute or two. Congratulations, Felipe. Would you like to say a few words, Diane?
well, I'm in the silent area of the library, so I
Okay.
can't talk too much. But thank you so much. You could see the smile on my face when that happened. I think it's an excellent result that we're sharing the award. I'm just thrilled beyond thrilled, and just my sincere thank you to the whole committee and this whole group that's just been really been as supportive of us this whole time. So again, thank you so much.
Yes, and congratulations, Felipe. You're sharing the award with Diane and the crew from Olivia O. Would you like to say a few words?
Wow, thank you so much. I wasn't expecting this at all, and you're such a great team, and this channel works in such a wonderful way that it's really inspiring for me. I'm really looking forward to work with this and make, get some great results out of it. Thank you so much.
No, and we want to
You're
hear back
welcome.
from you, in the near future. Let us know how you're doing, where this was applied and such. So congratulations to all. Carolina just came on as well. Um, let's see. Okay, so we will now discuss the award recipients up until now, right up until season 6, which would have been the fall of 2023. Let's see. Brenda, would you like to tell us a little bit about how your award was applied?
Yes, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, um, congratulations, Felipe and Diane. Uh, I am here in Los Angeles. It's about 1:45 p.m. and I started a grassroots community organization back in 2016, 17, because gentrification basically has displaced everyone, including myself, from, Highland Park, Northeast Los Angeles. We're not the first community that gentrification sweeps through and destroys, but we're one of them. And but we started fighting back. It started off in Hollywood and then worked itself up to Silver Lake and then Echo Park. Hollywood, Echo Park, then Silver Lake, and then Highland Park. And then we finally caught wind of what was going on really late in the game. So, but we started fighting back, and my organization basically was fighting against the whitewashing of our indigenous murals. So LA used to be the mural capital of the world. And then because of gentrification, we lost up to 80 or 90% of our murals. And a lot of these murals were grandfathered, which means were created before 2013. They're vintage murals, they're iconic. And a lot of them in Highland Park, there's a rich artistic heritage and history here in Highland Park, of not just indigenous people, but Chicanos who are basically identify as indigenous Mexican American peoples. And so, like a lot of these indigenous murals disappeared, even though they were protected on the federal, state, local level, and they were just going like blatant racism, just one night they just, they had to get permits from, the Department of Cultural Affairs and the city councilman and stuff like that. So they were just disappearing. Like it was horrible. So we started fighting. We dove deep in the rabbit hole of gentrification and basically found exactly who was behind it. And we brought it out to light, and my organization, including myself, have been persecuted, like not just politically by politicians. We have been banned from receiving any kind of grants from the city or from politicians. And at first it was very painful, but now I'm actually really glad because our grassroots organizations are really important. Why? Because they are organizations that count on testimonios, the true testimonies of the peoples who are being directly affected, not the politicians who are lying, not the politicians who are weaponizing our art or funneling thousands of blood money through to fund their pockets with these murals. So I decided like being a grassroots organization was most truthful and honest, because a lot of nonprofit organizations right now are really the ones that are hurting our community and sell out because of the money. So artivism was something I found and was like completely starstruck. I was like, oh my God, there's nothing out there like this. Like I had to pinch myself. I was like, oh my goodness. And just being able to present our story to New Yorkers and people like all over was very special to me, because everyone knows what's happening in LA, but a lot of you guys that are out there internationally might not know what's going on. So like a lot of what the way I saved a lot of murals, especially not a lot, as many as I wanted to, but especially the ones that were most threatened, which were the ones with deep indigenous iconography. Those are the ones that are sought after and they're wanting to destroy them. And so I was able to teach my community that the Visual Artists' Rights Act, which is a federal law that is a 1990 amendment to the copyright law, is a federal law that is out there for us to be able to protect our art. And a lot of our community members didn't know about that. So we started exercising our visual, our VARA rights. And so we were able to save the last remaining. I have like the, what I'm fighting for now are the last remaining indigenous murals, like deep, like indigenous murals that are in, not just in Highland Park, but in LA. And it has taken a lot. Like it is very taxing to go against Goliath and save there's these murals. So having artivism like give us that space and make or provide us like an opportunity to present our story, and then you know able to award us with help was amazing. Like can't tell you how grateful I am. So that those monies were basically used for what we Restorative Justice for the Arts launched a mural restoration campaign, which basically means that we're out there trying to save like the last remaining indigenous murals. And our goal is to restore, if not just restore, but save the ones that are already there, but restore the ones that are like falling apart. A mural is very endangered if it has graffiti on it, if it's falling apart, like the paint's chipping or very old. So Sing for Hope and their monies were able to help us make it possible to restore one of the most beautiful murals that we have in East LA. It's about 18 years old, more than 20 years old. It's at Robert Hill Elementary School. That was our first restoration effort, and we were able to restore it from being very faded and very, the artist was like looking back at his work and he was like, John Zender Estrada was like, oh my God, I can't believe I painted this. Like he was criticizing himself. He was like, wait, that guy doesn't look like an Aztec warrior. He looks like, and we were just cracking jokes and laughing about it. But he like updated, and it just went from looking a little dull and old to just this vibrant, like beautiful mural. And in the middle, Cesar Chavez is like in the face, has his face is in the sun. And the Cesar Chavez Foundation somehow like either passed by it because it's right across the street from East Los Angeles Community College, and it's right in at the Robert Hill Elementary School. So it's a very important to me and very sentimental because our children who are of indigenous ancestry directly walk across it and by it all the time. So it pops out at them, it reminds them and teaches them things that the school district will never teach them. The things that and stories that are not in school books. And so it was really beautiful. The community would stop and be like, "Oh my goodness, this is beautiful." And they're like, but wait, they whitewashed the other one over there. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like one thing at a time, you know? It's just like, so I want to say deeply from the bottom of my heart, like, thank you for your support. Sometimes doing this work is really taxing, and having a support line and is more than I can honestly ask for. I am trying to restore a Xochipilli mural, which is a very sacred Aztec god of art and beauty and song and floricanto and nature. It represents a very strong nature consciousness and the importance of nature and community at this LAUSD school, but they're not allowing me or the artist to do it. They want him to sign an artwork waiver, which makes him give away his artist rights in order to restore it. So that's another portion of we're getting ready to we're still, it's slow, but we're still doing work. We're still fighting to have that one restored as well. So like there's others, this is not easy. So thank you for your support. And if you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Thank you, Brenda. Yes, I think we maybe we'll go on to the others, and then when we're
Oh,
done,
okay.
we'll loop back in
Oh,
and make it
perfect.
more of a conversation.
Okay.
Thank you. So Monica Mayor was the recipient early on from Mexico City. She is the founder of El Tendedero. She sent, give me one second. She was supposed to be here, but she couldn't make it at the last minute. She lost her voice. Okay, El Tendedero, the clothesline, began in 1978 when I presented an installation at the Museum of Modern Art in Mexico City, inviting women to answer a question about gender violence on little pink slips of paper and hung on an equally pink structure. Over the past 17 years, I have activated the piece around 60 times in Mexico, Europe, South America, Japan, India, and the US. It starts with a workshop for local artists, activists, where they determine the questions for their clothesline. The answers of some of them been used in academic papers as a pedagogical tool or to change laws or gender violence protocols at universities. Most questions refer to sexual harassment in the street, but there have also been clotheslines about violence against women in the church, against nurses in their workspace, against women with leprosy, or violence against women in the legal system. I have donated it to 5 museums, including the National Museum of Women in the Arts in Washington and Newfields in Indiana. I have a webpage called El Tendedero. The Sing for Hope Award, sponsored Artivist Award, allowed me to design and translate the information about the 7 tendederos that have taken place in the United States into English. I hope this will allow me to reach other similar projects whose purpose is eliminating violence against women. And she sent over a screenshot of her website. You are welcome to visit El Tendedero. Let's go here. And here is the website with the original El Tendedero.
Very cool.
Yes. So the Sing for Hope Artivist Award, a sponsored Artivist Award, was used to translate the text on our website and update it. And her email is here. What I will do is I will put it in the chat if you would like to visit it. Go here. Yes, I will put it in the chat. If you'd like to visit it, you can email her if you have any questions. Let me see. Danielle Cherry has a question for Brenda. Brenda, your passion is contagious. Thank you. Oh, sorry, a comment. Thank you for sharing the great work you're doing. Now, let me move over to okay. The next one is inclusive lines. They are zooming in. Sorry, they could not zoom in because they are in Greece. And again, it's the 7-hour time difference. And here we go.
Hello, fellow artivists. It's Inclusive Lines here. Actually, one of the two members of Inclusive Lines, Angeliki. It's really, really nice to be back at Artivist family. And thank you for hosting our project again. Let's introduce Inclusive Lines a bit more. We work with cultural organizations and people with disability. Our method is participatory design, and we embrace visibility and identity in disability, so to create more confidence to people with disability and feel the cultural organizations as part of their involvement and not as scary and cold places anymore. So we do a lot of workshops, we do projects, smaller or bigger, and we also create cultural products like festivals, books, and stuff. And how we do it, it's actually a combination of fun. We always want to play together, have fun, interact with all our senses, embrace everyone to participate equally to our workshop. And of course, creativity. And through that, the mixed groups of people co-create an outcome that is most of the times incorporated inside the exhibition or the physical space of the cultural organization. One of the examples that we're really proud of is our book, the inclusive book, A Story for Everyone. And this book is really, really special because it was made from kids for kids. We had the chance to present it to our initial Artivism presentation. It's a book that it was made from children with visual impairment and not, a mixed group of children, that they worked together in all the stages, co-creating everything that a book needs: the story, the pictures, and the book itself. So coming back to Artivism, we were lucky enough to present our work to one of the previous spring cycles, I think. And after that, we were excited to receive the Sing for Hope award and make even more projects. Of course, we will share a few. Here is one of our favorites. It's actually photography for the blind, that it was in collaboration with the Museum of Photography in Thessaloniki. The participants were kids with visual impairments and not a mixed group. Some of them had their first visit to the photography museum, and most of them, it was like the first time they had a chance to take photos of their friends and family. Here's our new program, Sign Language in Museums, and especially the Museum of Macedonian Struggle, a milestone museum for the northern part of Greece and especially Macedonia. The program has already started with a museum tour in the Greek Sign Language, which was the first time that this museum hosted a program like that. And there are 2 workshops coming up. The one is focused on how we learn history through feelings and sign language. And the last workshop is going to be about the specific rules that subtitles for deaf people have, and this will be all incorporated in a video that will be a part of the exhibition of this museum in the end. Many more workshops, you can find more on our website. We'll be happy to be in touch, and we can't wait to hear what is the new organization that gets the award this time. Best wishes to all the participants.
Very sweet.
Isn't that beautiful? It's just unbelievable to watch the videos of these children and adults, right? Regardless of their whether visual or hearing impairment. Let me see. Okay, now we have one more video.
Hello, Artivism. Thank you for having me. My name is Irina Lardaki. I'm a Greek-French artist who is working in New York and Newark, New Jersey. I was the recipient of the Sing for Hope Artivist Award for fall 2022. The initiation of the project Cultures of Sharing was started with the Sing for Hope Award. It was a project that was mainly based on research of a map of cultural practices that promote sharing and involve migrant communities between Greece and the United States. I wanted to mainly involve families and students that arrive in New York and other cities of the United States. I wanted to mainly collect narrative of families that immigrated to New York in order to launch and promote artworks that called for exchange and cooperation. My goal was to explore how sharing is a theme in art, mainly in public art, which is my practice, and how, as actors of the arts, we can inhabit our time and nourish our work with the responsibilities that are born specifically from our presence within those communities and from a universal need for belonging and sharing. Based on the research project, I created Raised Flags, which was a public art project, which was mainly based on sharing oral histories, narratives that were a result of socio-political change in different eras of our time, and activism, community-based and public art needs. I wanted also to demonstrate how the hierarchy in the art community was shifting and was going more towards the needs of all the communities around us. I have experienced this as more important since the pandemic, since the idea that narratives within the communities can be shown and shared. I brought my research to Newark, New Jersey, in a specific community called Forest Hills, that together with a socioanthropologist and a design anthropologist, we explored this specific community, asked people to share their histories with us. So we did a collection of oral histories with people from different communities: Portuguese, Caribbean, Filipino, Italian, other places of the United States, and people that had homes in this specific community. Based on their narratives, we asked, what would you like to share with your community if the public art was not, in a public space, but on your home? So together with some of our students, we created these very large art pieces called the Raised Flags, which were compositions. Imagine as if you're creating a flag or a fabric based on the specific history of a family or an individual, based in this community. All those flags were obviously nourished by their cultural elements and what was constituting sharing in their cultures. They were displayed in October 2023 in the neighborhood of Forest Hill. We created a map so that people can go around and see those artworks that were exhibited on people's homes, so you could see them from the street. They were usually displayed on their porches, just outside their porches hanging. And each one told the story of what this home was like. So we had very young people, quite older people, people that have been in this community for a very long time, and people that had just arrived. And they all got the same size, same, narrative display. Then we created also walks, like we would go and pick up people from the neighborhood. We did appointments where me and other people from the community would go for walks to explore all these flags. It was an amazing experience. They were there for 2 months, and we created a website where you can explore them. And also we have a perspective to display them next spring during the Cherry Blossom Festival in Newark, New Jersey. So thank you so much for giving me the award. I'm very happy to be part of this community. I'm afraid I couldn't be with you because I am in Manosque in the south of France, and I'm flying tomorrow back to Crete. It's a ticket I bought a very long time ago, and it's exactly when our Zoom is happening. So thank you for allowing me to send you this video. Bye.
Okay, so that was Irini from France. She is traveling back to Greece as we speak. We have one more, which I will read from, is Stella Anastasaki, also from Greece. I am very happy to hear from you, and I wish the new educational year is as interesting and inspiring as always. We would love to catch up with you and share our news. The past 2 years since we received the Sync for Hope sponsored Artivist Award have been very busy and productive. Since then, we have finished 2 museum projects, rendering part of their collections inclusive to persons with visual impairments, and last year we had the opportunity to collaborate with 10 museums from Greece in the context of our Meeting Points project. This was a series of inclusive and participatory meetings around a specific artwork in 10 museums, where we gathered with persons with and without sensory impairments in order to co-create each artwork's audio description. The inclusive events were very inspiring and resulted to an innovative product that bridges art and culture with tourism in the form of a totally inclusive postcards collection, which is now available at the collaborating museum's gift shops. This is just an example of how off-streams development and direction that occurred in the past years. This period, we are preparing 2 very unique projects that are about to kick off in about a month, and as you can imagine, we are very excited at the moment. The first project is about teaching Western art history to blind and visually impaired people, starting from realism to impressionism leading up to German expressionism. The second is a new collaboration we are initiating with the School of Fine Arts and Sciences of Arts, along with the School of Engineering at the University of Ioannina in Greece, where through a series of talks and workshops, we're going to raise awareness and train young artists to take into consideration inclusion and accessibility to their artwork from the inception and creation of an art project. So unfortunately, the 9th of December, we will be on the road and we will not be able to attend the meeting you are planning. We will be back in our office the 12th of December and thereon. But we would love to see you and share with you more, as well as to hear your news on the occasion of another gathering. So that is from Stella Anastasaki, not inclusive lines, off stream. She sent a few of the links to the website. That websites that she mentioned that has sample of the works. I will put those in the chat as well. Carolina.
Hi, everybody. So good to have you all here in the closing event for Season 8 of Artivism. Thank you all for your participation and dedication to Artivism's kind of mission and goal, that is an overall mission and goal of many artists and creators, leaders around the world, that is basically to put our passion and our talents into the hands of changing what we seem lacking in society, right? And that's what we do here as well. Thank you for those that are here sharing your Artivism, sponsored by Sing for Hope Award, and those that sent in the videos or the PowerPoint, the readings. Now, at this point, we can do a conversation. We have a little room to perhaps ask some of our awardees about financing these projects, right? How to go about it. We can also go more in depth about the details of the projects that they shared. Also, we can hear a little more about the awardees that were just mentioned today. So congratulations, Mr. Felipe and Ms. Diane and Olivia O team for inputting your proposal. And thank you to Ms. Onde for being part of the committee that selected this new group of recipients. Where would you like to start? You let me know. Come on. I want to hear from all of you and how we can extract from this experience perhaps some administrative tools from all of us here, and leave it to the link, you know, once people see this recording, that way they can go and reference on how to go about financing, if needed, projects like these. Any thoughts?
It's not an easy one. Funding is difficult, right? Grant writing is a difficult task to undertake. It's even more difficult to receive. So just, pulling resources and a lot of, research, right, as to how we can get this funded, and if not, how to, get some resources or volunteers. I don't know. Well, Felipe, um, you didn't always have funding for each of your initiatives, right? How did you go about?
Never, never, ever. This is the
Never.
first time I get funded, and
Hopefully the
I've
first of many to come.
thank you. And I've proposed a lot of projects throughout many years. And so yes, it's difficult and raising awareness in certain areas. For example, when we are as musicians, for example, dealing with big industry that only serves a few, and we are oriented towards community, then this is where it begins to, to get interesting, because whenever we are focused in our communities and the needs of our people and and the sort, it works. It starts finding its own way. It's by the dignity of the message that the resources start to appear. So in my case, last year I participated with Helios project. Well, sadly, it was, well, it was like that. Things occur through cycles, and his project perished in the how would you say this, in the claws of the system. And sad for those kids, because they were the ones really getting the advantage out of it. So in this year, I'm working with Juana, and Juana is woman from Heredia. This is one of the central parts of the country, but still there is a lot of cultural heritage that it's important there. And she also comes from a family from the Caribbean side, so there her roots go deep into all of the Afro Caribbean and all of the storytelling and spirituality that also connect to the Mesoamerican lineages. So she's a very spiritual person, great person. I'm sure you'll meet her soon enough. And I've been working with her for a year or so now, and um, her passion is to work with younger kids and community people. So this is a different perspective and also aligns with the message. So I think that in this occasion, it is pretty easy to go with all of the project, but funding is very difficult. We went to a festival yesterday. Other people were singing because of some administrative details. Our band was signed off by a mistake, but well, so we were there, and Juana and her friend were selling some of their beverages and the sort, and you see that honestly speaking, financing for this, it comes from other places. And so, and when we are able to connect in such a way, and for example, I bet it's very interesting for you when you already have a network of people who show results in very effective manners, and you know that it is a symbolic means, because if this were reproduced in many other tribes or lines or groups or whatever, this would also enlarge and make consciousness grow. So thank you very much for that. And yes, I hope we do great with that. We're going to sing for hope.
No, and we look forward to having you back to tell us how the project went in. And the same with you, Ms. Diane, and the entire Olivia O production, definitely. And also, while we're here, I like to bring to conversation a topic as well, because sometimes people use per se the excuse of, "Oh, I don't have resources," for not doing X project or X activity or X artwork. But here in the room, we have artists that have been able to push their projects forward with the mere grit of their passion, right? Like Ms. Ande, you can tell us about your artwork and how you use recycled materials. Therefore, even if you just ask all of your friends, oh, save this for me, save that for me, you can do your work, right? It's just about that community coming together, thinking outside the box. And what I would like to put out there is also our time, right? That is our more valuable asset that we have, and we cannot put a price on it. Therefore, with this comment, what I'm trying to get at also is that when we are applying to that industry per se, I'm going to use that word of grant and proposal writing, because it is a business of sorts, right? We have to also take into account our time, the amount of time that each person applying to that grant is inputting, and what percentage of, imagine if it's 1 million participants, only one person gets it, and how much time is invested, right? We as artists, our creative power is limitless. It's us. Our imagination is our only limit. Therefore, we have a huge bank account in that regard, right? And I just wanted to put it out there for all of you listening and all of you present here, that don't let anything stop you, that not even yourself, because sometimes that's the worst, right? Oneself could be that obstacle for getting something on the ground, because everything comes. Like Mother Teresa always said, I never worried about anything, because when I needed food, when I needed, heat or something, somebody came and knocked on my door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Felipe? I don't know exactly. I tried to ask you this, but I sent it to Danielle. Sorry, Danielle. I was just wondering, what was your project about? Real briefly, I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so my presentations in the Artivism channel are about harmonic sciences, and my job is, as I'm an educator, and I work with sciences and music, and right now the bit is project, and her name is her musical project. It's a musical project. Uh It's to fund her EP because her songs are not recorded and wish to record some of them and present them to the people, workshops and bring community to present that work, which is very interesting.
Okay, I think I remember. I follow her on Spotify. She's on Spotify, right? You're cutting off. I'm sorry.
Possibly,
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
yes, possibly.
I just wanted to remember I because I mean there's so many artivists, but thank you. No, that's what wonderful work. And are you guys grassroots or are you guys a nonprofit?
Nonprofit. Yeah, I don't know what grassroots actually
Like
means,
that means you're
but
not a nonprofit. You're like super just community focused.
It's
You
yeah,
cut off.
it's
like
not non for
yeah, no
profit. It's
nonprofit.
grassroots.
Okay. Oh, it's grassroots. Oh, well, okay, yeah. I feel your pain.
Ah, yes. Um, and Diane is asking if you could all share your Instagram account in
Oh,
the
yeah.
chat. So you know she and Olivia O, the Olivia O team could you know follow you and your projects. Irini just zoomed in from Greece. I guess she landed in Crete. If you'd like to say a few words, Irini.
Hi, Argy. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we hear you.
Oh, cool. I just landed. My plane just arrived to Crete. I was traveling from France. Thank you so much for inviting us all to chat. I'm sorry that it was happening at the same time. Just my
That's
plane.
okay. We played your video. Thank you for sending it.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Any other questions? Maybe for Brenda or for Diane, if you'd like to say a few more words.
I just want to shout out here. Have you noticed the variety that we have in this meeting
Yes.
from around the world, the time zones, the geography, the styles of art, right? Our passion. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention because if we go around the room, well, I think we expand a couple of geographical regions and definitely time zones.
Yeah. And Felipe, where are you?
Costa Rica,
Oh,
San
Costa
Jose, Costa
Rica.
Rica.
Okay. I know where everybody is because I spent time asking everybody except you because you came in late. Oh, I heard Costa Rica is beautiful. Mhm.
It is. So, as a kid, I was a guide in the forests. So, and I
Wow.
also help people from around the world to build up their science projects in the you know in the rainforest, tropical rainforest. And so, I can assure that it's a beautiful place. It's infinitely amazing.
Thank you. Mhm.
I have a question for Brenda.
Yes,
I wonder for the restoring murals, do you have like original photos of the
I
art?
do. I do because that's why I was implying that grassroots um
Mm-hmm.
efforts and organizations are vital because I grew up here in my neighborhood. I grew up born and raised here. Um, I grew up looking at these murals as a child. I was very emotionally invested in them. And so down the lines, we didn't think we had to take pictures, but I actually started doing the research and started to
Mm-hmm.
look for the books and luckily for us a lot of our murals are mixed with graffiti art. So like there was a graffiti book that was made that had a lot of the murals that were whitewashed, and I was able to, so yeah, documenting them is very tricky. I once in a while, I'm the founder, but volunteers come and go. So, for example, because there's not a lot of funding, like someone can say, okay, I'll help you, but then down the line, okay, I can't help you anymore. And they have to pull out because, of course, life happens. So, like a lot of the times, like documenting the murals, and I was supposed to have them mapped out, and then COVID hit, and that interrupted a lot of our lives and a lot of our projects. So like, just things like that. But I personally have, and not just that, just to let you know, you taking a picture of a mural or an artwork actually helps to document it and keep it from being whitewashed. You can help by keeping it from being whitewashed. And I'll just let you know, whitewashing is basically, a term long ago that was used when someone would just put one clear coat of white paint over something. But down the line, though, the etymology of the word has evolved and has been used for other things too. Like, for example, if you've heard about like whitewashing films, like for example, having Marlon Brando play an indigenous person instead of like a real indigenous person. So that's like a form of, whitewashing. But that also implies in the world of, art. And so, for example, whitewashing a mural to make way for a more, uh, like mural that is going to attract more white people, white kids, white money, that's also a big issue. So I kind of, I guess we term the word whitewashification, which is whitewashing with gentrification. So like wherever you have whitewashing, whether it be art or whatever, you can apply it almost anywhere. It because of whitewashing because of gentrification. So that's what actually has made most of our murals here disappear. And right now, LAUSD, the biggest school district, I think in all of the United States now, it used to be New York, but after the pandemic, I think that changed. And they're actually they have 90% of their children are indigenous people, and a lot of them are now homeless because everyone here in California has been displaced, and so, or in LA has been displaced. So we have a lot of indigenous children who's in schools have grown up with these images, and now, with gentrification coming and more white people coming, they erase the indigenous or whitewash the indigenous murals and put more, they create magnets so that they can attract, more like, affluent people and not have them see indigenous images. You see what I'm saying? And they come and they restore them with, or they replace them with murals that don't have any indigenous iconography or anything like that. So, a lot of this work is very, it's hard, it's taxing, it's controversial, it's you're going up against, like Felipe said, like big systemic, you know, um
Close.
groups, so yeah.
Yeah. And on that also, I would like to reference back to our speaker from last week, Mr. Bruno from Portugal, that was saying how some of these aspects are changed also in regards to tourism, but affecting the current community that lives there. Because I can even see that happening in LA with you, Ms. Brenda, that they might change the iconography, they might change the feeling of it all, exploiting certain aspects of it that are appealing to that demographic, but yet the tourism and the money coming in is 100% affecting the current community that is living there, and who is receiving that gain from this supposed tourism, right? That's
The
one
few,
point. Yeah,
the very few are benefiting from that, and the majority are displaced, are homeless. It's a tent city here, so yeah, facing the worst challenges you can possibly imagine.
yeah. And another thing that I wanted to bring about is about also the work that we all do, right? With investing our time, our energy, our resources, both tangible and intangible, into this work. We also have to keep in mind what is the entire purpose of it all, because sometimes, unfortunately, it's kind of putting a band-aid on top of a huge wound, and that band-aid is just preventing it from bleeding out. But yet what we have to sometimes do is get rid of that band-aid and address the wound completely to its roots to heal it completely. And by that I mean legislation, new rules and regulations and approaches, tax, right, tax brackets, all of this other more systemic, like you said, Miss Brenda, situations that are not just fixed by, oh, let's do this or let's do that. You have to address it from the root. And I just wanted to put that out there with all of you here, as because we have, like recycling, we have whitewashing or gentrification. We also have immigration, right? So many topics just in this meeting here that we're all addressing from our perspective, but yet they're enormous, enormous topics, particularly now in 2024 around the world with all that is happening in regards to how the environment and the changes that we have caused on it are affecting the migration of certain communities and how that is being treated around the world. I mean, the other day I went to a talk and they were saying that refugees have multiplied in numbers. Instead of the numbers going down, they're going up and up and up and up. And we have to question, why is that? Why is it that in 2024 we cannot control this? Is it that perhaps this is a new industry? Are people in some places around the world viewing all this as just mere productions of monetary gain for themselves? You know what I mean? And that's what we also have to keep in mind. Okay, I'll stop there because I want to hear from you too.
Irini put in the chat, I believe we also have to be aware of creating division within the artistic community. I see it as an issue now in Newark. And if I recall correctly, Brenda, when you presented, spoke about commissions to muralists, where lots of money is going to artists to restore or recreate murals that have been whitewashed, rather than give a smaller chunk of money back to the community where
Yes.
you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Because
So for
it's in line with
example,
what, yes.
right. So for example, Irini, here in Los Angeles with gentrification, we have artists that are painting on top of uh, uh, areas or places where an artist has been whitewashed. So, for example, a community artist like Zender Estrada, who has most of the hands down, he has the most murals in Los Angeles. So, like everyone knows who Zender is here, for example, and they whitewashed a lot of his murals, and basically other artists from our own community. And I'm not ashamed to name names. For example, Frank Romero, who is known as they call him the Picasso of Chicano art, basically took $40,000 from Compass. Compass is a realty group who has displaced a lot of our families and children here, not just in this community, but they come in when gentrification comes in, like Redfin, Compass. So Compass and the disgraced council member Gil Cedillo, which you probably heard his name around the world. Now when he was council member, so he helped him, being that he is of Latino Mexican ancestry, helped to whitewash and destroy a lot of these. Him and his community rep, Bill Cody, helped to destroy a lot of our murals here. And that was proven. That's I don't just speak out and assume they did it, but there's proof. So like a lot of these artists, are from our community, and we're like shocked, like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be like helping the community, but yet you're taking $40,000 blood money from Compass and Cedillo, who Gail Cedillo, who, you know, has displaced 80% of our own very own community. And so like it literally became a war, and not just against this person and that person, and but now among artists. So then the artists that were old school and backing up Frank Romero from that school, the 60s Chicano movement, were like, oh, you restorative justice for the arts, like you guys are dirt, you know, if you lay with them, you get fleas, and, you know, just so it divided our artistic community in such a bad way, even though we found proof that it was them who whitewashed it. One of our biggest artists, yet here, murals done in the 60s, I told him, I said, you know that your buddy here helped to erase a lot of them. And he was like, huh? And he just ignored me, like, okay, whatever. So again, there's the issue of money. 40K. You don't need 40K to do a mural. You need 2,000. You can even pull off a small wall with 1,000. Like you don't need $40,000 to make a small mural. You don't.
I don't know if I would discuss the fees of artists like this. I understand and I agree with everything you're saying. Sorry, it's noisy where I am. I understand and I agree with what you're saying. I don't think that anybody would agree with the principle of erasing anybody's work, first of all, you know. I don't know that I would share my opinion about how much people should be paid openly. This is, I think, a different subject, because I agree on the ethics of art, and I think we all want to be surrounded by people who agree with our ethics. Basically, don't destroy anybody's work. For example, especially, you know, in the streets. In my experience, graffiti artists are very respectful. You know, either they paint over somebody else who did graffiti, but if you do a project with children, for example, they never paint over it. In my experience, I'm not saying it's like this everywhere. But, you know, sometimes in the projects I do on the East Coast, very often you see artists taking money from one project and doing other projects with no money, you know, like that's something that happens to me a lot. There will be, you know, one company, of course not, you know, blood money, but there will be a company that say, you know, we're going to give you 15,000 for this project, but then I'm going to go in Baltimore and work for months for no money at all, because the kids have no chance. You know, nobody will find money for the kids in Baltimore. I work with kids who are 17, 18 years old and have never touched a brush. You know, Argy and I have talked a lot about this in the past. There's so many communities that are so privileged. You know, I'm sure it's the same in California, but like I've done projects for schools, for example, in Westchester, you know, in Larchmont, Mamaroneck, where they're very wealthy communities. So it's the parents and guardians association, you know, that pays for a mural for a project with the kids and something. And I take the money from them, but then I go and work all year long in Baltimore and I pay my own tickets to go and I don't get paid, but I get rewarded, you know, from the fact that I go. But I have to live. I have a family, so I have to take the money from somewhere.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's I totally understandable, but I'm talking, you know, this is a time when we were fighting for our last remaining murals. I mean, we were
yeah,
we were in a position where it wasn't about it was about saving our artistic heritage and
Yeah, of
making
course.
it known that it's not okay to destroy somebody's art, whitewash it, and then bring in another artist to create, and pay them $40,000. So we actually we did community actions against it, and we actually stopped the mural from being painted. We the whole community, we got like 200 and 300 signatures, and we everybody was like, you know what, that's wrong. That's wrong. But no, definitely you need to get paid as an artist. I agree with you 100%.
What I've seen lately a lot, I don't know how it is in your community and if we can speak openly about this, but I see that the latest unfortunate political condition of the United States has created a lot of division within communities, artistic communities,
Yes.
based on race. And
Yes.
people that have all, like I am Greek, okay, so I'm obviously not Latino and not Black, but I work in a community where we are one Greek, one Turkish, two Venezuelans, a lot of African American artists. In Newark, it's, there's a lot of Indian artists, and we have always all worked together. And somehow, lately, everybody is getting into each other's face, although we are all very like-minded people. You know what I mean? We're all artists. And it's something that I have seen and witnessed lately. It's new. Somehow they have, the political system has managed to create division even among
Yes.
like-minded people. I find
Yes.
this is very shocking.
It is. It is. It's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Carolina, do you want to take it from here?
Any, how about if we go around the room and just give a takeaway from your artivism experience, everybody? Okay? Let's leave 2024 and season 8 with a lot of inspiration and good vibes for 2025, because we're around the corner, right? And when people come and check this video out, we want to wish them, and leave them with all this energy that yes, it can be done. Since I'm here, I'm going to recommend Octavia Butler's The Parable of the Sawyer from 1993. Check it out, read it, and that's what we got to do. We got to stand up, be full, we complete, and address that needed change from where we are, right? And let's just go around and see what are your key takeaways or hopes for this coming season and coming year. Okay, go ahead, just unmute yourself and say it.
I will go first because I have to sign off. I have another Zoom at 3 o'clock. But I just want to say to you guys that nobody's art should ever be whitewashed or destroyed or modified without the artist's permission. If you're in the United States, know that your art is always protected by the Visual Artists' Rights Act. Always fight for your art. There is nothing wrong with that. Art is precious. It's sacred, and art has the ability to erase the borders, not only in our mind but in our world, and in no one should ever be forced by anybody. I don't care what, I don't care if you're rich or super dirty rich or poor. Nobody should ever make you give up your artist rights ever to your artwork. Artwork is a superpower, and your art, even though a lot of people might not like it, someone will, and it can probably change someone's life for the better. And that is its superpower. It'll transform lives and people. So that's what I want to leave you all with. Thank you so much, Artivism, for your support. You guys are a lifeline, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart and my soul. It was wonderful to meet you, Vicky. It was great to see you. I love you all. And I'm gonna sign off now. I'm sorry I can't stay to
Thank you
hear
so
it, but
much.
I'll
Thank you,
I'll watch
Brenda.
it. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Be
Take
well.
care.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Christina, would you like to give us your takeaway?
I don't know.
That's
I
okay.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, we
I just wanted
so
to say I really appreciate, that you guys like me in a way. Thank you for all the invites for the shows that I could participate. I was really happy. It was my honor last year and the year before. And yeah, and then of course for inviting me for the selection committee. That was fun. Thank you. You still have it? You didn't
of
throw it
course I
out?
do. We
Just kidding.
thank you and appreciate all that you do for submitting your artwork, for participating in our open calls, for participating in these presentations. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I really enjoy presentations. I teach very often on Monday, so not every Monday, so sometimes I cannot participate, but I always enjoy, all
Thank
the
you.
participants. Everybody's so enthusiastic and wonderful. It's like I like it a
Thank you, Christina, and love to the family.
lot. Thank you.
Felipe, any thoughts, any takeaways?
Yes. So well, regarding last week's presentation,
Oh,
I was really shocked with all of what Bruno said, and honestly, I wish for things like what he said, like changing the aspect of running a trial in court with a theater play. This is a kind of escalation of the arts ritual because that's what it is, right? And it it involves a way of all society agreeing with it
mm,
because it does ring a bell in everyone. So I think that or I hope as well that when we engage in such uh, connections and truths, vibrations of art. We
mm.
inspire others. We help new generations to to record the knowledge and be able to reproduce it once again. So I believe in all of these new ways of exploring it. And this is something that I would be like hoping for or expecting to see next year, new ways of proceeding with it, right? Trying to find new ways of connecting and involving the artworks with our society and the rest of the process, right? So, well, thank you all of you for everything. And well, we see what happens next.
Thank you, Felipe, and congratulations again. Really, 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 we wish this brings you a lot more to come in terms of
Mhm.
funding and projects. You will always have our support, our best thoughts and blessings. Thank you, Vicky.
Uh, I'm always inspired
Mm.
by every Artivism presentation that I am a part of. I think it's amazing to bring everyone here from all over the world, and we uh, we gravitate and raise ourselves up. I mean, for me, I always, like even with the presentations that were given today, I'm like, okay, I have friends that are blind, friends that are deaf, and seeing the projects, I'm like, okay, I can collaborate with them and see or ask them if they would like to do something. And it just makes my mind go like all over the place in good directions and how to advance who I am and what I want to put out in the world and bring, like, and tap into others if they are interested in doing it resonates with them. So I love everything about Artivism. It does help change the world, and I'm so glad to be a part of it and to be connected with all of everyone that was on today.
Thank you, Vicky. And Irini, you want to just give us a last thought or put it in the chat?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm
Great.
here. I'm
Yes.
driving. I'm back home from the airport. Well, thank you so much for inviting me today. Argy, I have had a super crazy year. It has been, extremely busy, and unfortunately for me, it's at midnight, so it's really difficult to be at the regular Zooms. But I do always touch base back with Argy about the projects. I think it's great to not divide, communities. I feel it's happening. The hopeful message is that I see. Can you hear me? Or
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Yes, yes.
sorry. I what I do see is that we speak a lot about, communities that were unseen before. So I think they're at the center of a lot of the projects now, and I think Artivism has managed to highlight a lot of unseen communities, unseen labor as well. And before we used to admire monuments of great men who were white and rich and everywhere in our public space. And I think now public space, it's more a place for communities to meet, for people to share experiences and art. And I'm very, very happy to be part of this community.
Thank you. Thank you, Irini. Safe travels.
Thank you so
Carolina.
much.
This has been, like always, an inspiring meeting, and mine will be always question, right? We have to question and wonder about where and how things got to how they are. In regards to that, also, we can't wait any longer. They're always saying, oh, the leaders are coming. No, they're here. It's us. It's all of us. Every single human being that is alive today, right, has the power to be that leader, to be that change. Therefore, don't wait. Don't leave it onto someone else. Don't be asking for or looking for excuses. Just do it. Just do it, and you will see. Because if we don't question, if we don't, change our perspective, because that's what needs to change, and overall our mindset, because it's not coming from outside, it's from within. We need to change from inside for our society to change, because if not, look at where we're heading with all this AI, with all the commodities coming up in regards to technology. But on the other hand, how is that affecting a vast percentage of humans, and not only humans, but living creatures and our environment? And do you want to continue like that just because of what it is being sold to you on the networks or the media, right? Or do you want to use your mind, inquire, question, and research, make your own conclusions, and from there take it on and say, wake up, here I come, get out of my way, because change is coming. Professor Argy, what about you?
Oh, me? I don't know. There's just so much, and we don't have that much time. I just want to say I'm grateful to everyone. I'm grateful to Carolina, who brought Artivism in, right? For our collaboration and for all her selfless, or what's the right word? For her passion that really, really is contagious, right? I love it. I love it. Just when I think, we're done with something, she's like, wait a minute, one more change. Like, okay. But it is what artivism is all about. I'm grateful to meeting every one of you from all over the world. Writers, poets, lawyers, artists, activists, filmmakers, polymaths. Felipe, I love talking to Felipe about science and art and math, my passion, to Christina, and making beautiful things out of recyclable materials, and Vicky for all her work, her community work, and Irini for her work for around the world, and everyone that's ever been here. I thank every single one of you for the opportunity to hear from you, right? To learn from you. I wish you all a great holiday, a very happy and healthy new year, above all else, healthy. We will keep going as long as you will keep listening. Carolina, would you like to close? Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And of course, let's hear from Professor Arjun, right? Because without her, none of this will be possible. Thank you also to Sing for Hope, one of our sponsors, Adelphi University, another sponsor, and Gottesman Libraries, Teachers College, Columbia University, for their support as well. All of you, like Professor Arjun said, all of the artivists, and of course, we can't forget. That the people that are living it, right? The people that are engulfed in that much needed change, who we are here to help, right? Because sometimes you hear the phrase, "Oh, I want to be the voice of." No, you don't have to be the voice. They have their own voice. Just give them your platform and let them shout it out. Get out of the way, but give them your support, right? And just be there. Wake them up as well. And with that, we wish you all a marvelous holiday season, joyful and blessed and inspiring 2025. See you all in February, God willing.
Be well, everyone. Thank you again.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.